He was in NWA,
Okay.
and he was a producer.
So Snoop Dogg was never with you?
Nah, he was never with me.
Okay. I noticed you're very short on those two those two names. You have very little
I
to say.
can talk about him all day. I mean, I make money from Dre and Snoop, so it don't matter.
That's how I was with Eazy-E, man. I loved Eazy-E.
Right as a kid.
But I never could be friends with Eazy when I got with Dr. Dre. I could never say, damn, Eazy, you a bad what you call your shit is hard. I always had to be like, that.
Where we from, Compton and Long Beach, they don't get along with each other. See, like people in Compton really don't, claim Dre as being from Compton, and they don't claim Snoop from being from Long Beach.
If you're a real fan of hip-hop, then you probably know about the long-standing tension between the late Eazy-E and Snoop Dogg. Their feud wasn't just surface level, it ran deep. But did you know that before Eazy-E passed away, he allegedly warned other rappers about Snoop? Fast forward to today, and many fans believe Eazy-E was right all along. Over the years, Snoop has been caught up in several questionable situations. From his involvement in the East Coast versus West Coast rivalry, to the rumored jealousy he had toward Tupac, his loyalty to Diddy has also raised eyebrows.
Have you seen this new advert attempting to tackle anti-Semitism?
I hate you because we're from different neighborhoods.
I hate you because you look different.
I hate you because I don't understand you.
I hate you because people I know hate you.
I hate you because I think you hate me.
Because I need someone to blame.
Because you talk different.
Because you act different.
Because you're just different. Man, I hate that things are so bad that we have to do a commercial about it.
Me too.
The ad was funded by the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism, an organisation who claim their mission is to educate and empower people to stand up against Jewish hate and all hate. But critics have pointed out that the FCAS has a history of equating criticism of Israel and Zionism with anti-Semitism, and that this is yet another example of Israeli propaganda.
More recently, people have pointed out his contradictions, like performing for Donald Trump after publicly criticizing him in 2017, and starring in an unusual advertisement alongside Tom Brady. The inconsistencies in his actions have left many questioning where he truly stands. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a long list of moments where Snoop has made decisions that seemed more about chasing money than staying true to his principles. So let's take a deep look at what Eazy-E had to say about Snoop and why people think his warning was spot on.
Dre stays right around the corner from me, but when he sees me, he ducks his head because he's scared to face me.
Why?
Why? Because he's screwed up. People out there know how he really was.
Next month marks 30 years since hip-hop lost one of its most influential figures. Eazy-E wasn't just another rapper. He was a trailblazer in gangsta rap and a major force in shaping the culture. As a founding member of the legendary group NWA, he helped push West Coast hip-hop into the mainstream. Raised in Compton, he co-founded Ruthless Records alongside Jerry Heller, producing some of the most groundbreaking tracks in hip-hop history. However, behind the scenes, things weren't as smooth as they seemed. Not everyone in NWA was a fan of Jerry Heller, and Eazy-E's unwavering loyalty to him created serious friction within the group. That tension eventually led to Ice Cube leaving in 1989, frustrated with how business was being handled. He went on to release his solo classic, America KKA's Most Wanted. Then, just 2 years later, Dr. Dre also decided to walk away. He teamed up with Suge Knight and Michael Harry O. Harris to form Death Row Records, setting the stage for a new era of hip-hop. Dre wasn't just making career moves, he was creating a direct competitor to everything NWA had built: death. Row Records entered the scene with a raw, aggressive energy that shook up the West Coast. Almost overnight, the label became a powerhouse. Dre brought in a young Snoop Dogg, who quickly rose to fame, and later, Tupac joined the roster, cementing Death Row's dominance in the 90s. Their first major release, The Chronic, dropped in 1992 and changed everything. The album didn't just introduce a new sound. It also put gangsta rap on the pop charts for the first time. But The Chronic wasn't just about the music. It was filled with direct shots at Eazy-E, with skits and diss tracks that went straight for his reputation. The most famous one, Fuck Wit Dre Day, took aim at Eazy, painting him as outdated and irrelevant. Eazy-E wasn't about to let that slide. Just a few months after The Chronic came out, he fired back with Real Motherfuckin' G's, a diss track that tore into Dre and Snoop. In the song, Eazy-E called them out as studio gangsters, meaning they rapped about a street life they never actually lived. he specifically went after Dre, accusing him of not being from Compton and claiming he wasn't worth much financially.
I had no idea that you make money off product from Dr. Dre and Snoop. Now, how did that work out?
Basically, I had Dre signed as exclusive producer and exclusive artist.
Mm-hmm.
So when Dre tried to make his deal over at Interscope, you know, I was included for the next 6 years. So you can say all you want to say. Basically, you can diss me all you want, but I'm going to get paid. That's why I say Dre Day's only Eazy's payday. And that's real.
Eazy also didn't hold back when it came to Snoop. He mocked Snoop's thin frame, calling him an anorexic rapper and implying he was all hype with no real presence. But it wasn't just about insults. Eazy-E also exposed the past that Dre wanted people to forget. He referenced Dre's early days with the world-class Wreckin' Crew, a group known for flashy outfits and makeup before Dre transitioned into gangsta rap. Eazy-E used that as proof that Dre was more about image than authenticity. The diss track didn't just go after their credibility. Eazy also reminded the world about Dre's violent past, specifically his infamous attack on television host D. Barnes. He made it clear that real men don't put their hands on women, delivering a harsh reality check to Dre's persona. But one of the biggest hits Eazy-E landed on Dre wasn't just lyrical, it was financial. While Dre was publicly celebrating his new success with Death Row, Eazy made sure he still had the upper hand behind the scenes. Dre was still under contract with Ruthless Records when he left, meaning Eazy continued to make money from everything Dre released. That's why Eazy-E famously said, "Dre Day only made Eazy's payday." No matter how much Dre tried to distance himself, Eazy-E was cashing in on his success. Eazy-E didn't stop with Dre and Snoop. He also aimed at Suge Knight. In Real Motherfucking G's, he called out Suge's reputation for intimidation and violence, making it clear that anyone who crossed him was risking their life. The message was loud and clear. Eazy-E wasn't backing down.
Basically, everybody is gonna be me, Ren, Ice Cube, and Yella, because we staying sucker free in 93, so we don't deal with Dre. Because you know where he came from, world-class Wreckin' Crew, so it's like that now, you know. We staying sucker free in 93. That's
So you
how
mean
it
it's
is.
static with you and Dre?
What? Dre ain't got no love.
No love?
No love.
Beyond the music, Eazy-E used every chance he got to speak on the industry and call out what he saw as fake behavior. He wasn't just defending his own name. He was trying to warn people about what was really happening behind the scenes. Dr. Dre once accused Eazy-E of teaming up with Jerry Heller to take money from the rest of NWA. However, it later came out that Jerry was allegedly deceiving Eazy-E too. Before Eazy's passing in 1995, he cut all ties with Heller after realizing the betrayal. He reportedly told close friends that Jerry had been secretly taking money from the label for years. Ruthless Records rapper B.G. Knock out even revealed in an interview with Hip Hop DX that Eazy-E found records showing that millions of dollars had gone missing. Those funds were allegedly taken by Heller himself. Another artist from Ruthless Records, Toker, claimed that Eazy-E always blamed Jerry for causing the split with Ice Cube and Dr. Dre. He believed that Heller's manipulative tactics were responsible for breaking NWA apart from within. But while Eazy may have eventually realized Jerry Heller was playing him, he never had the same level of understanding for Snoop Dogg. In fact, he reportedly saw Snoop as someone not to be trusted.
First of all, I want to start off with those studio gangsters out there.
No, wait. I just want to define it for Middle America, a studio gangster.
There's somebody that's not real. They go in the studio and all of a sudden become hard when they used to do dance music. Out there know how he really was. He was a dancer. Now he trying to live a fantasy of stuff that he rap about. And, I don't know, they think he's perpetrating, really, or trying to be hard, or trying to live up to everything that they're talking about. See, he didn't know nothing about doing street music until he hooked up with me anyway, you know. He used to do all that techno stuff, the fly, he's bionic, turn out the lights.
You said there's a lot of things about fairy tale rappers. What's a fairy tale rapper?
Dr. Dre.
That's real, man. Talk to
Some industry insiders later claimed that the tension between them wasn't personal, but simply a result of the rivalry between Ruthless Records and Death Row Records. However, others insisted that Eazy genuinely felt Snoop was a snake and even warned people in his inner circle about him. Fast forward to today, and fans are once again bringing up these old claims, suggesting that Eazy was right all along about Snoop. The main reason behind this resurfacing discussion is the long-running speculation that Snoop was jealous of Tupac's success on Death Row Records. Before Tupac joined the label, Snoop was the biggest star. His debut album, Doggy Style, was a massive hit in 1993, and he was considered the face of Death Row. But when Tupac arrived with his energy, storytelling skills, and charisma, the spotlight shifted completely. Death Row became all about Tupac, and Snoop found himself taking a backseat. This is where things start to look suspicious. Some believe that Snoop may have had knowledge of the hit on Tupac and chose not to warn him. Snoop was close to powerful figures with deep connections in both the music industry and the streets. Yet, instead of sticking by Tupac, he distanced himself right before Tupac's death. According to Warren G., he was the one who convinced Snoop to stay in Los Angeles instead of traveling to Las Vegas with Tupac and Suge Knight on the night of September 7, 1996, when Tupac was shot. Warren G. said that Snoop had initially planned to attend the Mike Tyson vs. Bruce Seldon fight in Vegas that night, but Warren convinced him to stay in LA. At some point during the night, while Snoop and Warren were hanging out, Snoop got a message on his Nextel walkie-talkie informing him that Tupac had been shot. But that's not all. Suge Knight later made some explosive claims about Snoop's actions that night. He pointed out that Snoop and former Death Row artist Daz Dillinger had worked on a song with DeAndre Big Dre Smith, one of the men allegedly involved in Tupac's murder. Suge also claimed that Snoop warned Daz not to go to Vegas that night, raising even more suspicions about what he might have known. Then, Suga dropped another shocking allegation. He said that Snoop lied about being kicked out of the hospital when he supposedly went to visit Tupac after the shooting. While Warren G. said that Snoop told him he was heading to see Tupac, Suge claimed that Snoop never actually showed up at the hospital at all. If that's true, it only adds to the speculation that Snoop wasn't as close to Tupac as he made it seem. On top of all this, as soon as Tupac was gone and Suge Knight ended up in prison, Snoop wasted no time switching sides. He quickly aligned himself with Diddy, who was Tupac's biggest rival during the infamous East Coast versus West Coast feud. Just months after Tupac's death, Snoop appeared on The Steve Harvey Show alongside Diddy, talking about putting an end to the East Coast-West Coast beef.